Hello everybody, I'm Brune here with Colin Mitchell for BCBuckets, and the first pick in the NBA draft goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to have our pre-analysis, then our pick analysis. We're going to see who they pick all in succession here. So first, Colin, we've heard rumors from Woj saying that they might trade the pick.
Yep.
I mean, we know a lot of people are going to be looking to be buyers in this situation, but do you think they actually trade the pick?
See, I feel like a lot of people have been saying Minnesota's kind of doing a smoke screen where they say they want LaMelo Ball, and then they say they want Wiseman, and then Anthony Edwards hasn't really ever been mentioned in that point, but everyone just assumes that he's going to go number one because he is, quote unquote, the best talent in the draft. It doesn't make sense to me if they pick like a LaMelo Ball because you have a D'Angelo Russell. So they could trade down, in my opinion, for those teams that do want LaMelo Ball, because everyone knows that if he gets to number 3, Charlotte's going to take him.
Yes, I agree with that. So whether it's like Chicago or, I mean, Detroit to an extent, like there are teams that are going to be looking to trade up. I think that if they do keep the pick, I think they're picking Anthony Edwards, in my opinion. I agree. I think Anthony Edwards fits what they want to do as far as having D'Angelo Russell, having Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, there are questions about Anthony Edwards' defense, obviously, and we'll get into that if he is picked. We'll break that down. But I think LaMelo Ball is too ball dominant to pair up with D'Angelo Russell personally. And we're not even talking about Karl-Anthony Towns, who demands a lot of the ball himself. Right. Like, that is a guy who, well, he might not be a ball dominant guy, but he's a shooter guy who's going to take a lot of shots for you. I just think Anthony Edwards' upside is high enough because I think him and LaMelo, I have him and LaMelo 1-2 on my big board, and I have them both very high. You obviously have LaMelo Ball quite a lot lower.
Yeah.
But I can see people treating Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball as the highest upside picks. So for that reason, I think just looking at who they have, Malik Beasley, Jarrett Culver, who they picked who they had from last year. I don't think they need LaMelo Ball, and I would be shocked if they picked anybody else, James Wiseman or Killian Hayes or anybody. I would be shocked as well. So I think it's one of those two. I don't think they trade the pick. Let me double check.
And not to mention they have the 17th pick. So there's always, like, if they do want that point guard, there he is at 17.
Yeah, they're gonna be enough good point guards in the middle of the first round to where they're not gonna have to. They're not going to be worried about taking. Oh, if we don't get LaMelo, we're not going to have a point guard.
Exactly.
And they have D'Angelo Russell already.
Exactly.
I think this is a team that has to swing for the fences here, and I think trading back, in my opinion, just would not be good for them unless if they were getting a quality player.
Unless they get assets.
Like if the Spurs gave them DeMar DeRozan, I guess maybe that would be interesting, and DeMar in the 11th for the first would be something like that. But you have to make a big move here because you have Karl, who
it's in his 5th year, I think now. 5th year,
is not young anymore, and you have D'Angelo Russell. So we'll see who they take here. I know whenever this clock goes off, it doesn't automatically mean that the commissioner's coming out.
Right.
So who knows? But I think I am very, very, very interested in this. Now, I've heard talks about James Wiseman as well being a candidate to be picked here. But, I mean, you could play Cat at the 4. It takes a little bit of defensive pressure off of Cat. But we've seen Cat next to bigs like Gorgie Jang before.
Yep.
And it's been awkward. I mean, I don't know. Oh, I forgot about this. Hold on. Okay, but I think that there's just too much that can go wrong if you pick James Wiseman.
Yes, just because if you pick James Wiseman, that instantly means that you don't have faith in Cat at that point. In my opinion,
to an extent,
because
he's
26.
He's probably about 25.
25, 26, one of those two. If they have to go now because you had Jimmy Butler a couple years ago, you weren't able to do anything with that. They didn't make the playoffs last year. They obviously didn't make it this year. They need to do something, and if you trade down, like you said, you have to get an asset in return, or you have to get the guy that can help you now. And Here comes the commissioner.
Yep. All right.
With the first pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Anthony Edwards from the University
There it is.
There it is. Anthony Edwards. Congratulations to him. Like I said, I think he's just the right pick for this team, and he's the guy that they need to put all of their stock into, because he's the wing guy that they're going to need to develop into an elite player. You have him number 3 on your board. I have him number 1 on mine. I think I've detailed why I love his game. I see him as like a... when we posted on our Instagram, I had his ceiling at Tracy McGrady.
We said
I think
Tracy McGrady.
that is his potential ceiling there. We have his floor as like a Dion Waiters type, but I think in between there, then you get into a lot of different players, maybe like Victor Oladipo, Jaylen Brown type guy, T.J. Warren. You get good scorers that, even if they're not perennial all-stars, they're still going to be quality players here. And obviously, if you're taking him with the first pick, his upside is just too high to kind of just dismiss.
Right, yeah. I mean, he's not going to fall past... He wasn't going to fall past these top 3 picks. I think what's the biggest thing with Minnesota is that they need to make sure that they can keep his decision-making in check, because that's really his big knock, right? Is he takes tough shots, he doesn't use his athleticism like he should. But the biggest question is, can they make it to where, D'Angelo Russell, who also is one of those kind of errant shot takers, he pair well with Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, and his defense was inconsistent as well.
Yep.
That's going to be a concern with Cat and D'Angelo Russell, who are not known defenders there. Yep. They're going to have to get Jared Culver to defend. They're going to have to get other guys around them to defend. And if that's the case, then I think this is going to be a team that next year, because I'm not looking at Anthony Edwards as a guy who's going to step in right away and put up 15 points a game. I think next year, then we're looking at a team that could potentially make the playoffs and maybe make a 7 seed or something like that. Because you have the core there, and then you just need to fill out the pieces around them. And that's what the Timberwolves need.
23rd pick in the 2020 NBA Draft. The New York Knicks select Leandro Bolmaro from Cordoba, Argentina.
Why did he show him?
I don't know. That's probably one of the easiest names.
Leandro Bolmaro.
Wow. This pick was traded to the Timberwolves for the 25th and 33rd pick in the draft. Bolmaro is going to Minnesota.
Here's the thing. Leandro Bolmaro, I like him.
I do too.
I have him number 26 on my board. I like this for the Timberwolves, even if he doesn't come over and play right away. Or if he does come over, I don't think he's gonna be this guy who they depend on next year, right? He's not a guy who's gonna help them next year, in my opinion. However, he's played at a high level in Barcelona, even though he's played off the bench sparingly. Played for Argentina. I personally trust Argentinians with my life. He's 20 years old, roughly 6'7" guard. He can pass the ball really well. Physically, he's not impressive at all, but he can finish around the rim pretty well. And I think just his creativity and his playmaking ability is worth taking him in the first round.
I think good pick right here. You don't have a whole lot anymore. You could get like a Tyshawn Alexander. You could get a Robert Woodard. However, I don't think that they want that right now. That pops up right there. I think Jaden McDaniels is probably where they need to go.
I like Jaden McDaniels. He's just... No, I like the pick because I feel like he has a really high upside. He probably has the highest upside of anyone left. So I like the pick. Also, what is this Photoshop job?
Pretty good job.
Yeah, this is actually pretty good, all things
Where's
considered.
Killian? That's all I care about. Killian next to the commissioner.
All right, anyways, I agree, I guess, that I think they could use like a wing like Robert Woodard. Robert Woodard would probably be my pick here. I still think Desmond Bane would be a good pickup for them, personally, because I think you can never use enough shooting.
I think Desmond Bane, though, requires veteran leadership to flourish in this league.
I mean, how long has D'Angelo Russell and Cat been in the league? Come on.
Good veteran leadership.
Oh my god. Okay, well then, any rookie needs good veteran leadership.
Yes, but...
Okay, let's see what they take.
With the 28th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Jaden McDaniels.
All right. So the Timberwolves take Jaden McDaniels out of Washington. I like the pick. He was one of the best players coming out of high school, then did not have that good of a year at Washington, which was alarming. However, you can't deny this guy's talent. You really can't.
Yep.
Like, he is a very, very talented player, and he's a guy who... despite me having him at 33, I could see him being one of the top 10 players in this draft. So, yeah, he only scored 13 points a game on 41% shooting, 34% from 3. He took really bad shots. That's pretty much.
And
the
his
reason for
attitude
that.
was reportedly
Yeah, he was
not
getting
good.
technical fouls. He was not a great personality to be around, which is not good at all. However, as you can see from that,
His talent
dude
is
can freaking
ball.
play, man.
Yeah.
So you're hoping that he can find his niche role there, get some comfort, get some leadership around with the team. He tried to model. You can tell he kind of models his game after Kevin Durant. Takes some tough mid-range shots. You got to get those out of your game. But he averaged 1.2 points per possession on catch and shoot shots.
Yeah.
And that is
That's
promising.
Yeah.
So if he can shoot, he can jump, he can play. He needs to limit his fouls, do better shot selection wise, and grow as a driver and a finisher. I think this will be a pretty good pick for them.
Agreed.